Hey, you guys, thanks for listening in to this episode of Tips with T. On today, I have Miss Twyla with us. Hello, Miss Twyla. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Thank you so much for being a guest on the show. So, can you tell us more about yourself and what you do?
To get right to it, I help people make a bigger impact on stopping climate change than they ever thought possible. For instance, every 3,000 miles they drive, they leave behind 3,000 pounds of carbon dioxide. They're throwing the weight of their car into the atmosphere because every mile we drive leaves behind a pound of carbon dioxide. Or to put it another way, every gallon of gasoline we burn leaves behind 20 pounds. So, as a mathematician, I know you appreciate the very easy math that goes with gasoline. Here's a page from my book, Fueling Change, in which it shows how does a gallon of gasoline become 20 pounds of carbon dioxide. And this is the huge instrument from my book, Fueling Change, How We Created Climate Change, One Fuel at a Time. And this is the biggest instrument that the average person has available to stop global warming. And if we were all to do it together, or at least half of us, we would stop global warming in 5 years. So that's my mission.
That's awesome. So, explain to us more like what is climate change for those who really don't understand what climate change is.
Well, the more carbon dioxide we throw into the atmosphere, burning factories, coal mines, electrical plants, car exhaust, the more the carbon dioxide accrues in the atmosphere, hangs there. And then as the sun's rays come down, it beats on that like it is a greenhouse. That's where we get the term greenhouse effect or greenhouse gas. And we just start getting warmer and warmer and warmer. We've lost about 40% of our ice shield, our ice content on the planet. And the more of that we lose, then the sea levels rise and we get what I call the squishy shoe syndrome, because the coastal cities, they're up to their ankles in water. And I just read yesterday, we're about 11 years from total catastrophe. We don't want to be in catastrophe, whatever that looks like. So we're right on the verge of it. And every single driver has this huge uh, tool at their uh, availability to use less gasoline.
Okay. So, why is it so important that we create climate change and how can we use it to, I guess, save money?
Well, we're going to stop climate change. And by stopping climate change, we burn less gasoline and therefore burn less money. In fact, I have a new book coming out this week called The Gasoline Diet: Drive Less, Walk More, Lose Pounds of Carbon Dioxide, and Save the Planet. And we had a taste of that during our quarantine because we stayed home, we didn't burn gasoline. And that is our future, meeting by Zoom instead of driving everywhere to meet face to face. That is going to be our future. And that is how we're going to reduce the amount of carbon dioxide.
So, I understand about reducing the carbon dioxide, but what are some other small changes that we can do to help us towards stopping the climate change and to help us to improve our environment?
Well, we've had a lot of those things available for years, and that is recycling our materials so that they don't have to be made out of raw material. And yet, as you throw your stuff into the garbage can, that is nothing compared to not burning a gallon of gasoline. And this has been a secret very carefully kept from us by the car companies. When you go to buy a new car and you see the sticker on the left rear window of the car and it says, this is how many miles you're probably going to go and how much gasoline it'll cost and how many miles per gallon. It doesn't say at the bottom, oh, by the way, every one of these gallons is going to leave behind 20 pounds of carbon dioxide. If it did, we'd say, well, I'm not going to buy that car. Give me something that doesn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
But the oil companies and the car companies don't want us to know this.
Wow. Wow. Definitely. I know back in the day, I definitely seen growing up. It was recycling was a big thing, but a lot of people has moved away from recycling. I feel like we should go back to recycling. Um, and
How have you moved away?
um, I know in my area, people don't recycle as much as they used to. At first, when it came out, it was such a big thing. They had the recycling bins and the different things that we can use, and like I don't see those things no more. Like they're few and far in between.
Do you have recycling pickup, curbside pickup with the garbage service?
Not
So
in my
you are no longer recycling?
not in my apartment complex, no ma'am.
You throw away everything into the garbage stream.
I
Well, see,
do.
that's not helpful.
It's not. So when you saying recycling, I'm definitely gonna look into where the different recycling places are in my area where I live. Because I think a lot of people probably don't recycle anymore in my area because they don't know where or how to
They
recycle.
don't have the service provided for them. You have to have a service, otherwise people don't recycle. So somebody at your city level or county level had made a decision a while back that you're going to just bypass that. So all the more reason that the car becomes your big instrument of change.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So where can our listeners get your book, Miss Twyla, if they want to purchase the book?
It's on Amazon, and I also have a Kindle copy so that you can put it on your Kindle and read it. And it has 148 illustrations. So it's very interesting to look at as well as to read, if I may say so myself.
Well, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, so definitely need to look into me recycling. Probably I'm gonna try to reach out to the waste management
You
people.
may have drop off points for recycling, like glass.
Mm-hmm.
You do, don't you?
Um, I know I haven't seen one in my area. It probably is one. I'm not aware of it. I know there's one in a city over from me, but that's in South Carolina and I'm in North Carolina.
All right, Tara, this is a campaign for you to mount.
Right.
This is your name on it.
So
Because our garbage system doesn't pick up glass. They find it too dangerous. So we have to take our glass to a dumpster about a half a mile from here. And I take all my wine and beer bottles and mayonnaise, whatever, is made of glass, and throw it in there. And so that reduces the amount of fuel necessary to make new glass. See the difference?
yeah.
You can grind up glass and reuse it with about half of the fuel necessary, rather than to start from a solid rock and make glass. So that's what recycling is good for. For a long time we did that, but now this recently discovered, I mean, my book is the first one to present this piece of information about 20 pounds of carbon dioxide for every gallon of gas. And I fell on it like a duck on a June bug. And I said, hey, baby, that's in my book. That's what we have to do next, because even though we have coronavirus going and riots in the streets and all of the distracting things, the planet is still getting warmer. The rainforests are burning, the species are dying off. I mean, that kind of thing is going on in the background, and we keep pushing that aside, saying, well, this is more important. But the planet never stops. It keeps rotating around, and all of that process keeps going unless we stop it. Only big way for a person to stop it is to stop burning gasoline. Mm-hmm. And how much money do you save? If you have 3,000 miles, you probably spent $450 on gasoline. Think about that as a piece of change you'd like to change. So you need to bring Zoom into your life, mm-hmm, in a way you haven't done before.
Yes, ma'am. Most definitely. So tell our listeners how we can get in contact with you, and I'm going to share the screen.
How we can get in contact with me?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, Twyla, or fuelingchange.org. Yeah, fuelingchange.org is my blog. You don't even have it on there.
No, ma'am, I didn't put it up there. I did the social handles, but
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's where I write my blog. I put up a new one every day, and they are entertaining and informative and highly unusual, if I may recommend that for reading. And right now, just June 1st, I started a 90-day run of a blog a day. If I survive it, there will be 90 fascinating blogs. And I just wrote one and posted it today, Why Fuel Writes History, and why we can still go visit Aborigines in the Australian desert who are eating insects while we fly in from around the world and drive out to their campsite, for instance, or Bushmen in West Africa, why they're still eating chimpanzees and other monkeys while we're eating domesticated beef. And it's because of the kind and amount of fuel they have available. So I'm a fuel historian, really.
okay. All right, you guys. So, Miss Twyla, thank you so much for giving us your expertise on food fueling changes and how we can change our environment. And you guys, these are her social handles. You can find her also on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Instagram,
Fuelingchange.org. Yeah.
and her blog. And if you guys want to get in contact with me, my contact information is 910-316 910-360396, Lord. Contact me at my email, contact at mjfinancial.biz. You can schedule a consultation on my website, and you can find this video on my YouTube channel and on Anchor. You can find the audio for this particular podcast episode. And the website, I didn't give you guys a website, is www.mjfinancial.biz. So thank you again, Ms. Twyla, for giving us your information on how we can change the environment and help save money by recycling and being aware of the fuel that we're using in our environment. And thank you so much.
You're welcome, Tara. It was a pleasure.
All right, you guys, we will see you on the next episode of Tips with T.
Bye now.